Talk 48, and today you'll be joining me as I make some soup and drink a little glass of my home brewed acai wine. Tastes like port, it does. So Talk 48, US, Iran. It's been a while, folks, it's been a while, but all is well. Bruce is well. Come here. Come here. Here he is. Alright, Mr. Groot. So Talk 48. US conflict against Iran. Again, take two. I'll explain a few things first though. It's been a while because I still haven't managed to get a decent mic. All of the microphones out here are all really junk stuff, imported, and that I can get hold of. So I bought two different mics now, none of them worked. What I'm using now are some headphones, JBL headphones, which I managed to get hold of, which has a mic on them. So I'm using that for this video. Hopefully at least the words can be heard. You may hear noise in the background. That's because I'm in Neverland, and Neverland is seldom very quiet. You may hear chickens, you may hear music and other such things in the... But yeah, so the US Iran, well, it definitely looks like every time they release a bunch of Epstein files, they sink a few people, and then good old Benjamin Netanyahu goes over to the US to visit Trump, as if to say, next time, if you don't do what I say, next time it'll be you, not Mandelson or Prince Andrew. So that puts Trump in a very tight spot, because as it looks like he's going to push a conflict with Iran, he's going to lose favour doing that. And if he doesn't, the Epstein releases will be more potently showing what a paedophile he is. The Epsteinians, we can call them, can't we? Epsteinians. Or as Mohammed Morandi says, the Epstein class. Nobody knows what's going to happen until the first bombs start dropping. Nobody knows how it's going to go. We can only speculate, and we can only hope. Sorry, I just cut that recording by accident by pushing a button on my device. But here we are back again. All of those fighting age men in the West, purposefully sought out as the worst of the worst, to be in their millions across Europe. You've got to think of the huge terrorist threat that will happen if the Middle East is attacked in the way it is. It looks like it's going to be. Trump is just having his final hours, it looks like, as the mafia don that he pretends to be. He's just a pedo. They all are. Grab him by the pussy and all that. Funny how they tried saying that the Epstein files were another Russian. That Epstein was a Russian spy. I think we'll find he's an Israeli spy, like they all are. But as I've said before, I think... Excuse me while I get these flames going. As I said before, I think most of the intelligence agencies are all working in cahoots. They're all working together. But big blackmail operations have been going on in the West for a heck of a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what the Cray twins were in London, were there for blackmailing, getting blackmail material on politicians, because they were providing young men to those weird, sodded politicians back then. It amazes me how the US can just take its country to war without any sort of listening to the people, without listening to its people. Because I think our last poll showed that only 21% of the country wanted a war with Iran. Same like always though, like Iraq and everything else. This looks like it will be the nail in the coffin though for Trump, if it does go off. It doesn't look like Iran's going to go very easy. It doesn't look like Iran's just going to go walking off into the night. It's another thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Starmer wants all British veterans to prepare for war up to the age of 65. Well, I'm a veteran within that age group, so if he thinks he's calling me up for his silly little wars, he's got another thing coming. If I had to go to war ever again, I'd be on the side of Iran and Russia. At least there's less chance of them having paedophiles to the same extent that the West has. I certainly wouldn't be going to war for a paedophile or somebody who likes to make use of Ukrainian rent boys. But for now, we're just relaxing, aren't we, Bruce? Yeah, we're just relaxing in Neverland. This is the place we chose many, many years ago when we knew things were going to get bad. But I certainly wouldn't count myself out of going to Iran and helping them. It's just a shame that really all wars are a nonsense. And it's all a big plan. There's a massive, huge plan in play that really I want no part of. They've been demonising Iran for many years now. Iran has only fought in self-defence in the last few hundred years. One of those times was against obviously Iraq, when Iraq was using chemical weapons given to it by the West. But it does seem to be, what's very strange actually is America, how America's going to turn out after this. It looks like, because there's a lot of influencers online, big influencers like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, etc., all calling out Israel and the power of those people over the American people. And it looks like they could go full 360 or full 180 and become a Nazi state that goes against Israel after this conflict with Iran. And if you've never done so before, just type in DuckDuckGo or type in into Google, search Nazis, Nazis, .us. Type in Nazis.us and see what page it takes you to. You'll be surprised, or perhaps you won't be so surprised. But I think that's why all of this ice nonsense as well is going on, because it seems to me that they're preparing the people in the United States to be ready to have an armed force in the communities, knocking people off willy-nilly as ICE have done. I think it's funny how the media pushed these riots in Iran. Openly, people have stated openly that Mossad was involved and others were involved with producing the bad things that happened during those riots. And they pushed that to say, oh, you know, Iran's killing its own people. Well, let's not forget, you know, the West and America's government has been killing its own people for years now. Not just with the ICE agents knocking people off, executing people in the street, but we've also got all of the chemicals in your foods and in your skies, especially your skies, and in your water supply. But these are going to be very interesting times, and I'm sure that we'll know more in the coming months as they unfold. But I think this war will go global. I think my only real concern is that if America takes a few hits and if Iran strikes Israel in an horrendous way, then these two lunatic orders, the US and Israel, may go nuclear and drop a nuke on Iran, because they really care about the Iranian people so much. It's also very, very sad that we're controlled by these pathetic people, weak people. As I say, they're not evil, they're just weak. And can you believe, you know, with the Epstein files coming out, that you've got Bill Gates wanting to slip in a drug into his wife's drink to stop her from to help get rid of an STD that he picked up from a Russian whore. And you've got that man was at the head of the table trying to get you all vaccinated and jabbed during the COVID 1984 crisis. So interesting times we have, folks, and it's good to be back. And I'll probably do a few of these sit and talks with you now more and more. We do go on our walks often, but it's nice to sit with you. And I value and appreciate each one of you and the people who have shown me support. Be blessed. And may your dog, or your dogs, go with you. Say bye, Bruce. Say goodbye. Bye-bye. You good boy. You good boy. We're going to have soup. Yeah, we're going to have a soup. We're going to have a wonderful soup. We could have a wonderful soup, or a beautiful soup. What kind of a soup are we going to have? Be blessed all, take care.